Right now, high-profile solo founders are routinely crossing $3 million in annual revenue without hiring a single human employee. Operating at this scale requires a specific cost structure, one that drops an individual's overhead by 95 to 98% compared to a traditional small business from just a decade ago. Under the old SaaS model, scaling up meant adding people. If you wanted more output, you had to hire a larger team, and then pay software vendors a licensing fee for every individual human seat added to your corporate roster. That equation is over. The requirement that higher revenue demands a higher headcount is permanently broken. The catalyst for this inversion was a shift in how our tools operate. AI crossed the line from a passive assistant waiting for a prompt into an autonomous agent executing complex tasks entirely in the background. Look at this side-by-side comparison. We're seeing human customer support departments experience an 81% compression in headcount, while background agentic capacity sharply replaces that lost volume. With human departments hollowing out, legacy software vendors relying on per-seat pricing have seen their revenues evaporate. There simply aren't enough human employees left to fill those expensive software licenses. The economic value didn't vanish, it pooled around solo operators. A company's scale is no longer measured by the size of its staff, but by the precision and leverage of its digital stack. At the center of this new operating model is a concept called workspace DNA. Instead of fragmenting work across isolated Slack channels and static Notion pages, the entire business runs on a single, continuous reinforcement loop. First is memory. The system ingests brand voice and history, locking it into a structured memory bank. Next is intelligence. Agents reason over that context to autonomously navigate multi-step actions. Finally, execution. The intelligence layer triggers actions across platforms, decoupling revenue from the founder's hours. By operating this living system, the founder stops being the doer of daily tasks and becomes a manager of nearly infinite automated capacity. Solo consultants are pointing this capacity directly at traditional markets. Take local businesses, for example. As search engines shift toward direct AI answers, traditional SEO is losing ground, creating a massive demand for answer engine optimization. Solo operators run AEO audits, deploying advanced schema markup and 24/7 AI receptionists. This builds entity trust, signaling to AI models that the business is verified, ensuring it gets prioritized in local search results. Others are monetizing their own highly specific domain knowledge by packaging it into digital assets. Industry experts are selling specialized prompt bundles, like custom medical scribe automations or enterprise legal kits, often pricing them upwards of $5,000. You don't need a computer science degree to build the infrastructure for these services. Founders are using natural language to write branching logic and automate workflows on visual platforms like Make or Zeit, a process known as vibe coding. Immense wealth generation right now stems from a very specific formula: taking deep niche expertise and converting it into a perfectly deployable automated utility that a client can buy off the shelf. But infinite scaling comes with an inherent operational risk. It's known as the epistemological trap. This happens when a founder uses natural language to generate massive amounts of technical work, like software code or legal documents, but lacks the foundational knowledge required to actually evaluate the quality of what the machine produces. The fallout is measurable. We've seen a 10x spike in AI-generated code exposing critical security vulnerabilities under production loads, alongside user interfaces that completely fail legal accessibility standards because the founder couldn't spot the errors. The most pressing threat to a solo AI enterprise isn't a competitor, it's the structural collapse of their own unvetted systems. To survive, successful solo founders are adopting strict human-in-the-loop management frameworks. Here is how this looks in practice. They deploy tiered risk models, where the AI handles low-stakes, routine tasks entirely on its own, but high-value interactions, like billing, refunds, or strategic client replies, are diverted to a manual checkpoint, where the founder must personally approve the output before it executes. This mandatory approval step creates a closed feedback loop. Every time the founder corrects the AI's tone or logic, that correction is fed directly back into the system as training data. making the model slightly sharper for the next interaction. Business leverage is no longer determined by who aggregates the highest headcount or logs the most hours. It belongs to the operator who possesses the taste, judgment, and structural discipline to effectively govern the